Hi. All right. So, I have come today to interact with you on requests of many parents who actually wanted to learn or wanted to know a few effective and easy strategies of teaching children reading, early childhood reading basically, and also to make them remember their sounds. All right. So, I understand it's one of the most challenging jobs to make them remember, especially during the lockdown when they are a bit restless. So, it's very difficult for mothers to get them to books or to get them to practice their sounds. So, it can be very monotonous for the parent and the children. Therefore, I'm going to teach you or show you rather the most effective and easy strategy of making your toddler interact with sounds and make them remember first of all. At the same time, make them practice what they have already learned. Okay, so yes, by the way, I'm Jimana and I hold a licentiate from the UK in teaching. Currently, I'm reading for my master's in English, and at the same time, I'm training to become a child psychologist. So, this video is especially made for my parents who have requested and who I can't reach out at this time of lockdown. But anybody else who would like to access this video and would like to benefit from it, I'll be glad to share it with them. So just send me a request and I'll share it with you. Okay, and or I'll post the link and you can probably just log on to it. All right, so today the first step is the sounds which mothers and which parents find it very difficult to introduce. They say that, oh miss, I have done this so many times, I've taught him this, I've done this, I've bought this cards, I've bought this fancy material, but they don't remember. So you don't need any fancy material. What you need is an interesting presentation for your toddler. Okay, you have to deliver it in a very interesting way because they can get bored very fast. We cannot make the activity very monotonous for the toddlers. Therefore, you have to make it very effective, yes, for them to remember. That's very important. Okay, it doesn't have to be fancy toys and gadgets and all those what can I say, expensive whatever you get today in the market. Yeah. Besides reading and this sound recognition, now there are many ways of presenting it to your child, presenting it to your student, but the best and the most effective that I have found out by far is the Montessori method. The Montessori philosophy is what I swear by. It works the best with your young children. Okay, so although I don't have all the materials which I generally use in school, I do have some which I keep it at home because I do virtual teaching for my young ones for elocution. So I use this material, and these are very easily it can be made very easily at home. It's not rocket science. It's very easy to make it. So what I have is what I'm going to show you today. I have some plastic cards which has a sandpaper letter traced on it, letter carved on it rather. Okay, so this carving is a sandpaper curve. All right, you can easily make it at home. All you need is sandpaper cards and you need some bristlewood cutouts, and you can just paste it and cut out the letters and you can do whatever you want. Okay, so I have made it on plastic because I use it very often and children make it dirty sometimes. So I'm using the ready-made ones which are plastic. These are the Montessori sandpaper letters that we call it. So I have a curve here, and when I do the 3PL presentation, which I'm going to show you today, which is the most effective for sound teaching or letter teaching, is I use 2 vowels and I use 1 consonant. I use this combination, but you can use the way you like it. There is no written theory about it, or even if there is, it shouldn't matter as far as your presentation and the way you present your material is very lively, it's interesting, and you have to remember to not make it monotonous. all right. So yes, here we go. Now, since I can't lay everything here and I can't show you in my camera, I'll just quickly show you that I have this SMA, which is very popular. My children love it. I love it too. And this SMA, actually in school I have many boxes of these. I have one large one, which I call it LMA, which is large movable alphabet. But today what I'm using is a small movable alphabet. It's more practical for me because it's small and I keep it at home. And I have this reading box, which I swear by. This is for my older children. Okay, so this reading box, this reading box, which looks a bit fancy here, it's not at all fancy. It's very basic, which I have made it myself during my research. When I was doing a research on early childhood reading and writing, I made this box. And you can do it too. It's just plastic boxes, and I have these say preposition cards, and I have this say adjectives here. Then I have some storybooks which I have made it, and then I have these cards. So I divide generally like the Montessori method. I generally have, you know, I do the presentation in 3 stages, which is the pink scheme, the blue scheme, and the green scheme, and then we have the gray ones for the grammar. So I have these cards which I give it to them with the SMA, where they build their own words, but that is at a later stage, not now. So these are the cards, and then I have these boxes of nouns. I have the whole grammar kit here. I also have the phonograms, some phonograms. Then I have adjective box 1 and then 2, and then I have sight words, which I move on slowly as I get older. So I have all of this, right? Now, as I said, you can easily cut out the cards and you can make your own grammar kit the way I have made it, okay? And they love it. They just love to explore with it, and they just want to open and see what's there in those tiny boxes. They just love it, and they feel that they're playing, but actually I'm just getting my job done. I'm just getting them to read and write with that. So yes, so coming back to the 3PL lesson, so what I do is, there are 3 stages of this lesson. The first stage, I'm going to make it very easy and simple. I'm not going to make it boring for you, because today mothers are very smart. They almost know to homeschool, they know it all. So I just have to give you a small, what can I say, I just have to share a bit of info and they know it all, right? So I'm just going to make it simple and just show you what you can do. And so in the first stage, what we tell the child is trace, okay? What I say is, this is E. Okay, I also trace on the little tittle there. Don't forget that, because again, if you forget that, then they, what happens when they write? They forget to put that tittle there, right? So we have to remember the tittles. E, this is E. Would you like to say E? And I put the card down, or I just lay, it depends on the space I have. Generally I do activities on the floor, so I have a large mat and I have all of this you know, attractive gadgets around, so then they are automatically, they feel they're in a setting. But here at home it's a bit plain, yes, but never mind. And so you can place the cards down and you can just tell them that this is, we start from here, top to bottom. And when you can't go top to bottom, it's always left to right. So we basically teach them the subconscious impression of writing, which is left to right and top to bottom, the English writing. All right. So you make sure that you move your fingers also like that. Okay. So it's always like that. Yeah. So this is a. I tell them this is a. Would you like to say a? And they say a. And this is k. So I tell them k, and this is k, and please trace it and show me it's k. In the second stage, I tell them to show me only. All right, I don't tell them to tell the names. I tell them, please show me k. I place all the letters down. The 3 you can do at a time. You can maximum go until 4 if your child is super smart, otherwise stick to 3, they remember better. And you can ask them, show me k, show me E, show me a. Okay, you can ask them that, and they will, or you can always use your language like trace and show me. So when you're doing that, you're actually teaching them writing also. So when you're getting them to trace the k, they're actually teaching writing also. They are not you're actually teaching them writing. They're all actually learning writing. That's what I meant to say. You're not only teaching them to recognize. It's not only the recognition. It's also the writing. Okay, the muscle impression of the letters, which you're getting them to do on your sandpaper. So you have solved both the problems, writing and reading. All right. So the second stage is over, where you told them to show you. The third stage, when you know that the child is, you know, he can show you and he knows it. Third stage, you will ask them, what's this? What's that? Okay. So that's when the child gives you the name, right? So remember, the first stage, when you are saying this is an, can you trace the an? Tell me a, you bring one card. You don't bring all three. The second stage only, you bring all three cards and you tell them, show me. The third stage again, it's more effective when you bring only one card and tell them that, please tell me what's this. So please trace and tell me what's this. So they are giving you the name. So it's 3 times you're building this and drilling it in their memory, which is very difficult to forget. And they're anyway very smart. But then you will see that when you do a group presentation, ideally you should do it one-on-one. But in school, although we say we want to do one-on-one, it's very difficult. We definitely have at least 3 in a group. So sometimes they get naughty and they want to speak to the other, and they get into competition, and they of competition of who's going to say first, and they are not attentive, they're not listening to you. So all that happens in school. So when that happens, and when you feel on the second stage, if you feel the first stage was not successful, you can always go back to your first stage and teach them that again. So when you come to the third stage, where you are telling your child to give you the name, if you think he's not sure, you can always go back to your second stage. Okay, so this is your sound presentation, letter sounds or alphabets or whatever you may call it. This is phonetic actually. What we practice in Montessori is phonetically to get them to learn the phonetic impression of it. They basically is a, b, k, d, f, like that, because we find it very easy when they have to spell the words, and children learn faster. But obviously at a later stage, you can what we do in Conte is by the time they're in nursery 2 or KG, we teach them the uppercase along with the phonetic sounds of it, because they have grasped it so well by then they're reading, so they can easily remember the uppercase. All right, so then you can go with your ABCD. And anyway, the young ones today, when they come to me, they already know their ABCD song. They have you know, explored that song really well with the mothers. I think by the time the babies are born, the mothers are singing that today just for them to learn it faster, but not necessarily. You have to do it. They will anyway learn, all right? Anyway, they come to school, they learn. Besides that, the SMA, now my favorite box, here what I do is I give them this. Oh, this is colorful enough. And as I said, I have an LMA in school, which has a huge chart, which has also the grid of the letters, the vowels, the consonants, and all those tiny tittles with the J's and with the I's. There's all of it. What do I do is when they are able to recognize all of it, they get to explore with this box, or simultaneously while they're learning you can give them this also, but not the smaller one, the larger one, which they find it easy to manipulate, because a child of 3 finds it difficult to hold a small letter. So I have the large ones and I give them this, and I tell them to make words. Yes, you have to give the stimuli. You can't just tell the child that, okay, go make words. No. So you have to give them the stimuli, and you have to help them to build it. So by now, when they come to word building, or you have moved them slowly, once the recognition of 90% of letters they recognize, I actually move them to word building, or simultaneously. You can do both. What we do is I have a word in my mind, and that word is cat. What sounds do you hear when I say cat? So my ones are of course super smart. I think by the time they've done all of this, they know, oh, auntie, it's cat or something. They just say it. So sometimes I have to give a little bit of, a push. I have to tell them, okay, it's cat. So then they definitely guess it from k and a. Sometimes they find it a little difficult to say the t. So and those they confuse. Generally, the t and the p, they get confused. The t and the f, they confuse a bit. So sometimes they're just trying to analyze what I want, which sound do I want from them. So what they do is they say, oh, auntie, and I say cat, and they automatically tell you the t. So similarly, you can go with the dog and bat, and you can use one vowel at one time. So I use as when I'm doing with very young ones who have just started word building. I use one common vowel, which is the a sound. So I use as, so I say cat and bat and whatever. And then when I am doing the e sounds, I stick to e. So that's very effective. So in the latter stage now, so once the children they know their 3-letter word building, we move to the blue scheme. Now blue scheme is also very easy. Once they know their what you call the 3-letter word building, you move to blue scheme, and the blue scheme has all 4-letter word building, which has then we also introduce the sight words with that, where we have the sight word box. I have a box that I showed you, and it has all the cards, and you also teach them simultaneously the sight word, which goes with their phonetic word building, so they don't confuse themselves. Yes, because they are going to ask you, auntie, how come k at is cat and sir her a is she? Oh, they ask me all the time, auntie, how come? So I get very stuck with answers. That's when I know that they are ready to move on to phonograms. So when they are ready to move to phonograms, which is almost the green scheme, and the grammar section comes just after that, we teach them that, see, so and her also makes sure. K and her makes a ch. So that is something which is not a muscle memory like this, or phonetic memory that they have acquired before. That is something that they purely have to memorize, because yes, English is a difficult language, and certain parts of it and certain aspects of English is to be memorized. So we move like that. And I can go on and on and on and on about language teaching. There is a lot more, but the video is already 17 minutes and I cannot be going on more because you will get bored. Yes, but if you have any question, if you want me to help you out with your early child's or early toddler reading, please get in touch. My number is given on my page. You can come meet me. I reopen on Monday morning for school, for registrations and for consultation, and also to help out the new parents who are looking for schools, for new enrollees, for admissions and stuff. So you can always come, get in touch, ask me anything you like about your child's reading. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm going to come back with more where I'm going to teach you, or rather show you, how would you teach your children the grammar, or the grammar aspect of it, or developing the vocabulary skills and stuff. Alright, bye, have a nice day.